Qué violencia. Y vamos allá. Ese juego que te tenta a comerte los ciudadanos que ya valen 1000 de experiencia o 2000 de experiencia cuando conoces toda su vida. Porque la cosa se complica.
My research is complete. I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals.
Y aquí
What about my
estamos.
thirst for blood?
Y aquí estamos. Después de... bueno, muchas cosas. ¿A qué multi? Jugar. Estoy escribiendo una cosita. ¿A qué multijugar después de Vampyr? ¡Hala! ¡Ah, qué violencia! ¿A qué multijugar después de...? Tú me quieres dar un susto. Un susto de muerte. Voy a probar una cosa, ya que estás ahí. A ver, barra baja. A ver si sale bien.
¡Fantasma! ¡Fantasma! ¡Llévame con Alba! ¡Fantasma! ¡Fantasma! ¡Fantasma, hijo de puta! ¡Hijo de puta! ¡Fantasma!
Digamos que estuve buscando ahí cómo hacer y no sé si se ven las letras y no sé si se ven todavía las letras de promoción del sitio del que lo uso o no. Pero bueno, al menos ya tengo clips.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted.
Fantasma.
I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps
la
you should look there
antigua morgue.
first. Where is this morgue?
It's
No.
the large building behind
Bueno,
the
Isa,
hospital.
pero ¿se vio
You
bien
need to go
el
in the back
clip
door
o
because it's been
salió
sealed
algo
off for
raro?
sanitary
Porque
reasons.
eso es lo que tengo
Take this
que
key. It
investigar.
opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way, then. Thank you, nurse.
Nos han mandado a la morgue, no es por nada, pero la morgue no es el mejor lugar, que digamos. Casi preferiría estar por aquí y ver quién es quién antes de meterme en la morgue. Pero claro, necesito cositas que la morgue tiene y que yo ahora mismo no tengo.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the
Vamos a
Pembroke
conocer
Hospital.
gente.
And who are you?
Your name
Vale,
has no
pues
meaning
tengo
to
que
me,
ver cómo
mortal.
quitarlas.
You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy.
Porque yo le di a la opción de borrarlas, pero se ve que no las ha
You
borrado.
keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of pustulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Vale.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover to hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit.
¿Qué tal te
fog,
va
or
la
bat.
licatación?
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby.
¿Te va bien la
I feel them
licatación?
watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally...
Pero véndelas, si no te vas a quedar sin
Thank you,
pasta,
mortal.
Isa.
But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Chan, investigaciones locales. Investigaciones sobre ciudadanos. ¿Qué puedes darle aquí? Ay, ¿cómo era? Con F. Con F. Pues. F. Rastrear. Ya está. Normal. A ver. A ver. ¿Quién te manda a tener otras casas en propiedad para hacerle eso? A ver. Pues dale, dale caña.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you?
Dale
puny
caña,
mortal?
alicata, alicata.
What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Vale, necesitamos 2 pistas más y estas solo las vamos a conseguir
I'll leave you.
pillándole con las manos a la masa.
Activities.
Alicata, pinta y limpia. Eso es a lo que te dedicas. Alicatar y limpiar y ya está. A ver, a esta persona la conozco. Ya está.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Entonces sí que se te acumula el trabajo. Qué bien, ya hay una pista por ahí.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
Chan, chan.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual.
Normal.
Especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's
los
not
dos.
the kind of man who's bothered about
Vale.
bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Mira, ya tenemos una pista para sacarle más información al otro.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know.
Yo creo que da
Just
tiempo
ask him.
para jugar los dos.
But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Es viernes, ¿no? Se supone que puedo hacer cositas.
How long have you been a nurse?
Or long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
Lo malo es cuánto. Porras. Cuando aparece la Y suele ser algo interesante y si no lo haces bien, te puedes saltar una pista y luego ya el ciudadano ya no da tanta experiencia si luego lo quieres matar. Es que este juego, en fin, es en plan... Coges la vida, te sabes la vida de todo el mundo, más experiencia te dan, lo que hace que sean más tentadores para comértelos y porque te está costando pasar cualquier fase y bueno. No voy a decir que te
You're right. When dealing with such a terrible disease, one must remain humble. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try our best.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Ya nos ha dicho algo. Ala, necesito pistas de todos lados, pues nada.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Necesito muchas pistas para eso. Acerca del ajo y las estacas de madera.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed.
Qué violencia.
I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Pues menos mal.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect.
Vale.
Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem
normal.
worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Vale. Nada, necesito pista. Y aquí... Ya tenemos uno por ahí, pero bueno. Vamos a empezar
Where
por
were you
aquí, a
stationed?
ver si hay algo que pueda sacar.
Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Ah,
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
a ver si me
Wait for
revela
her
algo.
next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside.
Ajá.
But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of my blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
A ver qué me
You do
dices de esto.
realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much
A
more
veces
fun
pasa.
than the real one.
A veces pasa, ¿qué le vamos a hacer? Como necesito más
Goodbye for now,
pistas...
Mr. Elmer.
Adiós. Es que necesito pillarles algo así, aparte.
The pain. It's here again.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize.
No,
for
ya
my
le estaba
behavior.
mordiendo un
I was
bicho
not
y
myself in the
te
factory.
decidió que...
Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained
Normal.
perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and
Este
return to
fue
my
el que
flock.
le atacaron antes de llegar al hospital.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had
Vamos a ver
received
si nos da
alarming
un
news
par de
about his
pistas
recent
porque este es
behavior.
un pilar.
I went to his place
Si le
and
saco
he
pistas
refused to
ahora,
let me go.
mejor. Para después.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Es un ser de luz, ¿qué le vamos a hacer?
Do you
Bueno, ¿qué
know
me
Tom
dice?
Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare.
Sí, la verdad es que
No
los...
drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn
Podéis
shame.
ir dando cuenta de que están todos en plan... Lo que es la zona pobre de la ciudad está toda
Who should I
hecha
avoid in this
pedazos
part of town?
y los ricos están como
Any
en una especie de
particularly
muro de
evil
cuarentena.
Not really.
De hecho, el
Most
barrio de
men and
los
women
ricos
just
es
do
lo
their
último
best.
que se
And it's not
visita
my
en el
habit
juego.
to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers Trade Union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Ajá.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Y es por eso que es el pilar del sitio ese.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Ajá, ¿ves? No todas las cruces hacen daño. Vaya, vaya.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not
Pues,
really.
¿tienes
But I
alguno?
recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Pues no, no ha muerto. De hecho,
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll
de
talk
hecho,
again later.
Harriet se va a convertir en un pilar de la historia y está aquí. Que ahora mismo no me dejan entrar, pero que sepáis que está ahí. Espera, me voy a dar el pirio como si no hubiera nada, a ver si pasa algo. Es que hay un punto en el que sí que pasan cosas. O sea, si los estás viendo, con la visión esa puedes llegar a saber si alguien necesita algo, alguna movida. Epa. Vale. Ajá, no te dejo pasar.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great
Todo el
admirer
mundo
of your
esconde
work
algo,
concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific
Vamos a ver
and
si me da
medical
alguna
knowledge with someone
misión.
eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
Háblame de
I
tus
based my
experimentos.
technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental.
Das cuenta de que en
unsuccessful.
1900 lo de las transfusiones todavía no
You may
funcionaba
remain
del todo bien.
empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me. But I am convinced
Lo
knowledge
que
is
quiere
the
decir
main
que la
weapon against the
medicina ha
ravages of
avanzado
this
bastante.
epidemic.
O sea, la medicina avanzó bastante. O sea, en este tiempo no, lo de las transfusiones de sangre era novedoso.
Well, it has always been an
Hoy
honor
en
to work
día
with Dr. Swansea.
se llevan como si nada.
But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, you wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time. You seem quite
Ya tenemos
optimistic.
otra investigación más.
It's a
Bien, bien.
rare and
Ya tenemos
precious
cositas que
attitude
hacer
in
por
these
ahí.
difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Normal. A ver si le puedo hacer preguntas personales. Sí.
Tell me more
La
about your
técnica.
willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really
Ajá.
want? To save him? Or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
No sé, yo...
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality.
Ay, la
You must know that a
imparcialidad.
good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's
Os
behavior.
recuerdo que
A man who did not even take
podéis
time to
votar
converse with his
a qué
patient.
Do you
multijugar
think keeping his
después.
distance was a
O
mistake?
podéis
All I
preguntarme
know is that
cositas.
I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's
Ah,
story.
pues si
Our
queréis saber
first
cositas.
diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Bueno, no creo que me vaya a contar mucho más porque lo del experimento ya os digo yo que es una... se va a liar. O sea, lo del experimento no es lo que parecía. Ya veréis.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Pero bueno, ya tenemos otra misión más. Tenemos 30 de experiencia más. Porque sí, hablar con la gente nos da experiencia, no mucha, pero bueno. Es lo que hay. Si queremos un poquillo de experiencia y esas movidas.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed, yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr.
Un
Let
poquillo.
us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Hola. Oh. Ah, me ha mandado a la mierda, pero así, sin más, ¿eh?
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get.
No, ya.
You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me. since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Hola.
Aren't you too old for such jealousy? It really won't do you any good, you know.
Don't be ridiculous, Dr. Reed. A simple glance is enough for me to know you have nothing for me to envy.
A ver si se me acaba de ir alguna pista porque sí, diciéndole eso.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego.
Sí, es que yo decía, me estará gritando Miguel por ahí, pero no, es la peña convalecencia del hospital.
Tell me, Wade.
Se oye a la peña gritar por ahí de dolor.
Experimental research.
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Ajá.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my
Algo pasa, ¿ves? Con el tratamiento ese, algo pasa. No están estos de acuerdo.
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
If you are going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
No le caemos demasiado bien.
Thank you for your time.
No le voy a preguntar nada más por ahora. Debería preguntarle cosas más personales, pero... Espera. Ah, vale, o sea, no hay lío ahí dentro. Bien. Bueno, vamos a dejar hablar con el paciente. ¡Fruto! Ah, voy a mangar cosas. ¿Cómo hablar con el paciente? Anda.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr.
A ver qué opina el paciente de todo esto.
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Ajá.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there.
Ajá, como a todos.
Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Como el carpintero fue
I'm
peor.
just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
¿Cómo no?
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about
Sí,
it.
hay demasiada
I'm afraid
movida.
we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
La sangre le puede... Le puede.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
What?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Vaya.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Vale.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea.
¿Quién sabe?
I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Pudieron haber muerto todos.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
No sé, a ver si puedo hacer alguna misión. 90, 32. Yo solo espero que la misión de 32 no sea una bestialidad, pero bueno. Cosa de la gripe, este hospital no admite más pacientes. Qué turbio todo. Veamos. ¿Dónde está la otra misión? Pa. Me ha desaparecido la otra misión. ¿Qué frutos? Me ha desaparecido la otra misión. Ah, ahora. Me aparecía a mí. No, ahora desapareció. Pues no sé. Lo tengo así porque... ahí brilla algo, ahí brilla algo. Porras, tengo que encontrar dónde se ve eso.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they
Hay un
hiding?
sitio donde puedo ver
I
eso.
should investigate.
Y eso es lo que tengo que buscar. ¿Dónde puedo verlo? Aquí. Ahí está. ¿Veis lo de que los corazones brillan y tal? Pues eso tenéis que buscarlo.
You won't need any of these anyway. I'm not stealing from you, mister. I'm only redistributing your belongings to people who need them more than you. You see, no one has claimed your body, sir, so it would be such a shame to bury you with your valuables.
Ay, ay, ay.
I will not forget you, sir. And I thank you for your generous
Y
donation.
aquí estamos pillando a al de la morgue robando. Acabamos de pillar al de la morgue robando. Y tú no miras nada, ¿eh? F. Carta extensa. ¿Qué cojones es esto? Se están poniendo feas. Lucy Paul, bla 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 bla. Atrás, atrás. Vaya, tenemos algo más de otra persona.
It's locked.
Maldita sea. A veces las llaves de esos sitios se consiguen matando a la gente. Pero bueno. Lo malo es que muchas veces no compensa. Bueno, 35 por ahí delante. Yo creo que es una casa que está ahí. Pero no sabría decir. Es que sé que hay una manera de subir por una de las casas. ¡Corre, corre! Mira cómo corre. Que yo creo que hay algo por aquí. 7. Nivel 7. Hay peña de nivel 7 ahí arriba. Soy un puto nivel 5. Pero bueno. A ver, aquí hay cosas. Ay, porras, ¿cómo era para tarjetearlos? Soy muy manco para esto. Epa, cuidado que este tiene fuego. Listo. ¿Tienes algo? No. ¿Tú sí? Bueno, una empuñadura. No, mira lo de la misión. Asunto, actividad vampírica, hospital, vigilar. Hace 3 días en nuestros reclutas escuché un rumor sobre la presencia de un vampiro hembra en el hospital. Nunca sabemos es su nombre de pila. Vaya, pues sí que lo estaban vigilando, sí que tiene razón. Pues sí que tiene razón. Tu país y tu rey te necesitan. No, gracias. Mira cómo corre. Eso está cerrado, ¿no? ¿Se puede abrir? No. No se puede abrir. Hospital cerrado por la gripe. Sí, que ya lo sé. Que aquí tengo que revisar a mucha peña, pero bueno. Vamos a hacer la misión de la tipa al menos. ¿Dónde está? Ahí la está.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Ajá.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about
¿Qué
vampires?
sabes?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain.
Vaya.
I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
You have no idea what problems your claim could cause if heard by the wrong people, Miss Howcroft. You must stop this nonsense now.
Why fear the truth? Strange things live in the dark, Dr. Reed. Strange
No, sí,
and
sí.
ancient beings
Eso lo
that
tengo
were here
bastante
before
claro.
this island even had a name.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Vaya.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it.
Oh, qué
But I am
bonito.
not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
No. Entonces, ¿de dónde descubrí yo la movida?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Entonces, ¿de quién descubrí movidas? A ver.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
No, aquí me sigue faltando la pista y aquí sigue faltando una pista, nada.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Ah, encuentra el mando de la guardia de Prive. ¡Ostras! No, pero eso ya es muy lejos, Muy, muy lejos lo de la guardia de Prive. Y este es el atajo que hay para ir a la morgue. Que creo recordar que hay bichos por aquí, no sé. O creía recordar que había bichos por aquí. Sé que buena idea no es.
It's locked.
Ah, tengo que buscar la manera de abrirla. Porque se puede abrir.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Dios, pero es que los skulls ya de un nivel mayor al mío me cruje. Quietecito ahí. Ah, la muestra de sangre me va a venir muy bien. Muy parque muy bien. Por aquí se puedo subir. Pero no parece haber nadie con un corazón ahí muy... ¿O sí? Es que aquí hay una puerta cerrada. ¿Veis, no? Hay una puerta cerrada y se supone que uno de los doctores lo puedes espiar cuando sube aquí. Pero no veo yo movimiento. No veo yo nada raro por ahora. Solo hay uno, ¿no? Bah, ya me ha visto. Uy, que se ha dopado. Porque sí, se dopa. Ostras, menuda hostia me han metido. Lo malo es que yo no subo de nivel. Meto mi pipa por siempre juntos. What the fuck? Uy, uy, uy. Esto es para otra cosa. Lo malo es que yo no subo de nivel hasta que me voy a ir a dormir. Esa es la putada. Que yo no subo de nivel hasta que... Hasta que no me vaya a dormir. Ah. Ah. La antigua morgue. Tiene que haber una manera de abrir la otra puerta. Creo que se puede encontrar una llave o algo así. O se puede abrir desde este lado. Creo que se puede abrir desde este lado. Creo. A ver. Sí, se puede abrir desde este lado. Bien, así ya queda abierto. Así ya lo dejo abierto para cuando vuelva. Es que hay puertas que o tienes que buscar la llave o las tienes que abrir del otro lado. Cosas así. Uy. Pero bueno, como había que hacerlo de la morgue. Ya hay peña para... ¿Alguien quiere poner aparte del pasmo y el lef? ¿O solo queréis pasmo y lef? Y os estáis por ahí. Voy a ver si hay cositas aquí. Siempre os van a intentar pillarlo todo. De hecho, las cosas estas se regeneran pasado un tiempo. Ya aviso, pero que es interesante tenerlas para las recetas. Vale. Para abajo todavía no puedo ir. Vale. Nada. Nada. Ahí hay dinero. ¡Dinero! ¡Dinero! ¿Qué le vamos a hacer? Dinero. Creo que... Son de nivel 6. Son... Es lo que yo digo. El juego al final te acaba diciendo moralmente... ¿De verdad quieres seguir siendo tan débil?
balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Ay. Llevo toda la semana sufriendo tirones, tanto de espalda como de brazo. Es horrible. Y todo por estar delante de un ordenador. Se va a liar, ya veis. Se va a liar. Es que no encuentro ni dónde era que se apuntaba. Mira tú. ¡Qué violencia! ¡Ah! Me he quedado sin resistencia. Ay, porras, que me estoy dejando pegar como un gilipollas.
Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
No sé, los enemigos, o sea, los enemigos también dan cositas, entonces.
This key will surely grant me access to
La
the
llave
basement.
del sótano. Porque sí, tendremos que acabar yendo al sótano. ¿Dónde está? Los pitireros sirven para cositas. La quintilla más complicada de conseguir que... En fin, la madre que la hizo. Vale, por aquí no me dejan, necesito una llave. Buena, Rao. A ti no te hago lo del show porque no tienes canal. Solo estás para mirar. ¿Qué quieres votar, Rao? Eisa... Hostia. Eisa ha votado que quiere las dos cosas. Pasmo y Lev. ¿Tú qué votas, Rao? Nivel 6, nivel 5, nivel 6... Así que no me dirás qué quieres votar.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals.
Me da muy poca experiencia. Es que este juego está hecho para que digas, joder, me venía bien comerme a un ciudadano que da 1000 y 2000 de experiencia y estos solo me dan 30. Te incita a la sed de sangre. Está dormido. Yo quiero jugar al teto. ¿De verdad quieres jugar al teto? Tú quieres que te dé, ¿no? A ti te gustaría que te diera, ¿verdad, Rao? En eso no eres catalán, no quieres dar, o sea, no quieres que te den. No quieres que te den cosas bonitas. Pasas de eso. por aquí tengo que venir para una misión o algo así. Ah, lol, buah, el cuchillo este.
It's locked, all right.
Vaya, está cerrado. ¿Y esto? Consulta al médico forense Samuel Connor, varón desconocido, neumonía avanzada por consolidación pulmonar causada por el virus. Yo creo que esto es para algo.
I'd better look into this.
Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps?
¿Estás viendo chonis en piscinas? ¿Qué haces viendo chonis en piscinas?
Abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened.
A ver, si miras tanto esas cositas, por algo será. Por algo será que luego te las recomiendan, ¿no, Rao?
Possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him.
Ah, vale, bueno, si te las cascas, si te la cascas, yo ya ahí no entro. Cáscatela. Cáscatela todo lo que quieras. Estás en tu derecho de cascártela. No soy yo el pesado, sí, pero si eres tú quien dice, no, venga, vamos. Normal. Porra, siempre me sale mal. Ya sé cómo ha muerto desangrado. Pon mis huevos. No es con lo mismo siempre, es que lo pones a huevo y yo no hago más que pensar mal. La culpa es mía al final, siempre pienso mal. La culpa es mía. ¡Cuidado! Que me está pegando a... Ahora me lo dices. ¿A dónde vas? Que me quedo sin... ¿Dónde estás? Ya está.
These scowls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting.
Es que ahora mismo eres un mierder. Lo vamos a dejar así, ¿eh? Es que ahora mismo eres un mierder. Es que te convenía saber más de la gente que vive por ahí, ayudarles y luego comértelos cuando son de 1000 y 2000 de experiencia. Fórmula enigmática. Aquí puedo hacer movidas. Claro, es que tengo que hacer la movida aquí. Buah. Es que a ti, Kratos, te la pone muy gorda. No, hombre, no. Es mentira. ¿Cómo va? El tratamiento para el resfri. Qué bien me viene eso. La guadaña me encanta, pero... Pero es a 2 manos, es la putada que tiene. Pero esta es mejor que la susodicha estaca, creo. Es el uso de energía, absorción de sangre aumentada. Oh, ya no puedo llevarla. ¿Y esto cuánto hace? Energía tal, 8 de sangre, pero esto hace 10 de aturdimiento. Y esto solo hace hostias pardas, básicamente. El machete, ¿qué tal lo llevo? No sé el consumo de energía o daño mejorado. Creo que le puse daño mejorado. Sí. Puse daño mejorado. Y creo que esto ya está. Porque le gusta corregirlo. Se supone que es de Zeus, ¿no? Es que Kratos realmente no es... ¿sabes? Ya está hecho. Sí, ya está hecho. Hala, vámonos. Hala, vámonos. Y nos ponemos con el pasmo. Debería subir un poco la resistencia. Básicamente en el 1 se pega contra Ares, el dios de la guerra, y se hace él dios de la guerra. Pero como al resto de dioses no les molaba la idea, deciden hacer un complot contra Kratos e intentar matarlo. Y eso es lo que pasa en el 2. Entre el 2 y el 3. Que se lía hostias con todos los dioses porque le venía bien. Porque los dioses querían matarle. ¿Qué pasa? Se ve que después de cargarse toda la mitología griega quería más caña y se fue a la mitología nórdica con lo que parece que es su hijo. Cosa que no creo que sea su hijo, pero bueno. Con el... ¡Voy! Ese. Ah, vaya, claro, no abrí la puerta, ¿para qué coño? ¿Por qué coño voy yo a tal si no abrí la puerta? De todas formas, ¿dónde está él? Encima, claro, mi habitación. Bueno, Zeus lo mata, pero se va a las tejedoras y las tejedoras, como son pasado, presente y futuro, decide volver atrás en el tiempo para cargarse, para evitar que Zeus lo mate y cargárselo. ¿A alguien más le ha destripado la historia? Jolín, yo no sé dónde tengo que... ¿Dónde es que tengo que...? Aquí no hay nada. Ah, claro, tenía que hacer el tratamiento normal. Bueno, ya está. Mira que es difícil encontrar la solución de hipoclorito de sodio también. Lleva Dorothy Crane en la habitación del paciente. ¿Se lo llevo ya? O... Bah, da igual. Tengo 1000 y pico de puntos. No, lo que has estudiado en mitología todavía te sirve. Es que lo de Kratos es aparte. Hmm. 300. Toma, vale 300, me cago en... No puedo comprar el de vida, no. Es que no me conviene siquiera. A ver cómo está esto. 1000 y pico para la autofagia 2. Normal que luego me quiera comer ciudadanos por ahí. Ah, soy nivel 7. Nivel 7. Ah. Esto. La capacidad de sangre no me molesta tanto. Y ya está. Y ya no puedo comprarme nada más. Los terminantes nunca los he usado. Mira tú. ¿Qué dos? ¿Qué violencia?